Hi, I'm your host, Mike Downer, and I am here with the Concrete Blueprint. Today, I am talking to Andrew Quick, and he is the owner and CEO of Quick Concrete Solutions. How are we doing today, Andrew?
Doing well, Mike. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Today we're gonna keep this kind of easy for you, buddy. We're just gonna get to know you a little bit and about who you are and a little bit about your background, if that's okay with you.
No, sounds wonderful. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Andrew, just a quick overview of the company before we get to know you personally. Who is Quick Concrete Solutions and what do you stand for?
Yeah. So, Quick Concrete Solutions on paper started approximately 2016. It developed out of me working for a couple other concrete companies prior. Once I got out of the military, I was in the Air Force for about 10 years. Quickly exited, finished college, got a 9-year degree there, and I was in business management and marketing. So I felt like I should have been a doctor, but no. Yeah, quickly moved into jumping in ditches and learning the hard work and trade stuff of concrete, everything from footings, flat work, foundations, etc. And then went through the trenches for a couple years, learned the business side of it, and eventually decided to go out on my own. So Quick Concrete Solutions, kind of going through those motions and understanding proper ways of doing concrete, and then also the not so proper ways of doing concrete. You get a lot of that. Des Moines is a fairly big area. There's a lot of work going on. We would see some pretty shoddy work across the metro, and we were usually also cleaning up some of that. But Quick Concrete Solutions, we're integrity first. We're integrity first, value. We want to make sure the customer absolutely knows that they're number one. I don't touch anything that is not how I would do it myself. And I'm all about education. So I love the customer service experience. I think that's one of the biggest things that we've learned very quickly. And that's why we were able to grow fairly fast as well. As I took my business background, but I also took my military kind of aura as well, merged those into one. And, we took off like a rocket ship just by, treating people like people, taking time to educate folks on, there's not just one type of concrete. There's many types of concrete. There's tons of additives and different things to make concrete do different things during different weather episodes. And, whether you're doing summer or winter, or if you got some rain coming, maybe you're adding some calcium or some NCA product, or even if you're in windy conditions, which wind is about as bad as rain. We can also, there's additives for that as well. But just in general, Quick Concrete Solutions has always been about quality first and ensuring that the customer is happy. We also really focused on not trying to be a nuisance to customers. And what I mean by that is, when we go to a project, we're not looking for money down. We're not looking for any kind of, guarantee up front from our customers. We just like to spend time with our customers on the front side, really get comfortable with them, allow them to get to know us, who we are, what we're about. And then, from there, move forward with the project and explain cost and just, let every single little detail out. And end of the day, we're very confident and have been very confident in the services that we've been able to provide around the Des Moines, Waukee area, et cetera. Kind of started in Waukee, but we've been serving all over the state of Iowa since 2016, 2015 timeframe. Started small, started with, 4 guys and worked up to 24. And then we kind of right sized a little bit in our downturn with COVID, and still operating happily with a lot of the same guys that we started with many years ago.
You've been doing this for quite a while, so give me a little bit more about your personal background. I know that. So where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to school? High school, and a little bit about your Air Force service. And thank you for your service, Andrew.
Yeah, Mike, likewise. Absolutely. So, starting back, born and raised on a farm, Prairie City. Had a split household. Mom and dad were together still and all that, but my mom refused to live on a farm. So I got the split household, even though parents were married and all that stuff. So yeah, spent time mostly on the farm being a boy. I got 2 older brothers, and then also spent time living in Pleasant Hill. So Prairie City, Pleasant Hill, went to Southeast Polk. They had a great wrestling program, and that was big for me personally. I was really interested in wrestling from a very young age. Tried some other sports. Did soccer for a little while. It was a good sport just to kind of stay physically on the up and up throughout the year when I wasn't in wrestling.
Yep.
And then, outside of that, for me, work was like a really big thing as a kid. So, I had my grandpa, my dad and uncles and so many other role models growing up. Almost everybody in my family on both sides, my mom's side, dad's side, have been entrepreneurs, and generationally, a lot in construction, a lot in farming. And this is just you're born and raised in that community, and you learn young that everything is earned, nothing is given. And you really truly learn the value of a dollar, and you really truly learn what it is to bring respect, give respect, and earn respect. And again, we try to do that with, all of our concrete customers. Again, whether they're in Altoona, Des Moines, Waukee, West Des Moines, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where they're at. We hold that all the way through. It's been a wild ride. So yeah, finished out of high school. I ended up moving approximately 2000. Finished out of high school in Waukee, and then immediately went from Waukee High School. Within a month, I was on an airplane down to San Antonio, Texas, and
Lackland Air Force Base.
Lackland Air Force Base. You must know it, Mr. Downer.
I've been there.
So no opportunity again. High school finished. I was in top physical shape. I didn't want to be another college guy that just jumped into college. I had way bigger plans, and I didn't know exactly what they all were, but I knew I wanted it to involve airplanes. The Air Force had that best opportunity. As soon as I got in the military, I started working on F-16s, and immediately was just hit with deployments all over the place. It slowed down my college career, if you will. Ultimately, I wanted to be a fighter pilot. That didn't come true because I was taking all these other opportunities to go travel instead of get my college credits. And in the fighter world, by the time you're 24, if you're not done with college and fighter school, you're kind of old in consideration to the military standard. But actually repositioned myself within the military, started working for a counter drug group, and stayed with that for the remaining time of my Air Force career, and was able to do a couple tours in Iraq, toured Afghanistan. After Afghanistan, came home, did some work for ODCP and our counter drug group here in the state of Iowa. Was able to do that for a bit of time, and then unfortunately with funding, this is around the Obama era, we had federal funding issues, and just there wasn't much security there. So it really pushed me to figure out what that next step forward was in my own life and my own career, which is where actually I started finishing up a lot of my college credits and ended up with a business management major and a minor in marketing at the very end of my college career. I did it also 2 years, punched the numbers. I thought I was going to be a CPA for a couple of years, did well with it, decided that was definitely not going to be the gig for me. And then, past that, went into MIS, doing management information systems, basically coding, taking raw information and turning it into what we see on computers, et cetera. But again, did very well with it, just decided it wasn't going to be for me. So got kind of more realistic with my journey through school, and switched
Leads
that.
us right into the founding story of Quick Concrete Solutions. Then, so what
That's
year was
exactly.
that? And how did you get into the business itself? I mean, I know you kind of gave us all the, but just a quick overview of what
Yeah.
why concrete, because that after accounting
Yeah.
and 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 information systems, I mean, next thing you know, you're in concrete. How did that happen?
Yeah, no, great question. So, I've always been a very opportunistic guy. So, I believe God gives us all great gifts. And for me, uh, God's always given me great vision. And between that and the background that I came from, which again, family, again, entrepreneurs through their own construction companies. I mean, my grandpas, both of them, uncles, they all built their own homes from the ground up. Like they didn't subcontract stuff out. Like it was all from the heart. I was able to, see some of the stuff growing up. So, actually had a buddy that was in concrete already, and he needed assistance with growing his business. So it worked out perfect timing. I was able to operate and take my business intelligence into his world of concrete, and he was able to teach me some of the foundation principles of doing concrete. And for about the first 6 months, I mean, I spent every minute of every day, dusk till dawn, in the trenches with shovels and trowels and all the other concrete equipment and running
Yes, sir.
skid loaders and I mean dozers, you name it, everything. And once I got in, I was hooked. It was kind of okay. This is honest wage. It feels good. I'm definitely one of those guys that's driven. When I build something, that's a reward for me. So and be able to work with other guys again takes me back into kind of my military mode. That's what we do in the military best is work together and build that community. So I did that for a while, and then had a new opportunity pop up where I was able to partner with another gentleman that was in a little bit bigger concrete company, and we kind of had the three amigos as we were. We called ourselves. Started growing his company by a lot within the first year and a half or so, and then just as life has it. I found an opportunity to go out on my own and took the opportunity and, started up, basically overnight, just, went out and did it. Slowly bought equipment. Was pretty proud of myself. I was able to go in and we didn't use any loans. We didn't do anything. I just started fresh, started small, stayed consistent, used the skills that I learned. Not through only the business side of the concrete, but also the actual pouring of the concrete and foundational principles of the concrete trade itself. So really immediately we were already ahead of a lot of other concrete companies that, most concrete companies, they'll either fail to do the concrete properly or they'll fail to do the customer service portion of the business side properly, or sometimes both. But regardless, got good knowledge, good experience in the field, properly doing concrete. And with me being able to bring all the business side and knowledge and customer service piece to it, Quick Concrete Solutions went from not doing a whole lot right out of the gate to within the first year. I mean, we were able to hit over $1 million. So moved pretty quick on that. And then, definitely was aggressive with it. And, we've done everything from getting into HOAs to doing developmental stuff, helping putting all sorts of ADA ramps and trail systems in, replacing driveways and streets and whatnot for HOAs, et cetera. Then we started diving in more city work, lots of tear out replace for residential work, driveways, patios. And then we got into some really fun stuff where we were doing some more custom homes, multi-million-dollar homes, which was some of the most fun stuff for me. We were pouring parking lots and stuff too. I know a lot of guys get excited about that. For me, not so much. It's with the equipment and laser screeds and all the other stuff we have these days, um, sure it makes money, but end of the day, I think again what sets Quick Concrete Solutions apart from everybody else is how much we value the one-on-one time with our customers.
That
And
leads me to my next question, which I
yes,
think is going to get right into it.
perfect.
Um, is one thing that you that I do know about your company. It's the family-owned philosophy. Can you kind of explain that to me and tell me why that's important to Quick Concrete Solutions?
Absolutely. No, love that you asked the question. So, grew up in a pretty unique family. Again, lots of entrepreneurs, etc. Uh, you know, I'm sure lots of people can relate to this. My family aged out pretty quickly. I was the youngest of all the boys, so a lot of these uncles and grandpas and other folks, even grandma, etc. Um, a lot of these family members died earlier in my life. When I was early teens, mid teens, etc. So I went from having a really big family reunions, all that sort of stuff, to almost having no family pretty quickly. By the time we're looking at mid late 20s, and I always just thought back to those moments that I had with Christmas and all the other gatherings and having this large family, and you know was definitely a go-getter. So it wasn't like I was going to settle down and go get married tomorrow and just have a whole caravan of kids. However, the next best thing, which the military taught me, is I could have my family from within my company. So, when we hire, we really pay attention to who fits in with the culture of Quick Concrete Solutions. And everybody that we've got currently, a lot of these folks have been with us since the beginning, which I know is pretty not typical for a lot of concrete companies. You get a lot of turnover, and we've used some special techniques to continue to acquire other folks that are like minded and of the culture of Quick Concrete Solutions. And really that culture goes back to integrity first, always doing what's right. Always servicing the customer, but also always taking care of the guy next to you on your left and your right, and just give everything. I've got times where my guys will need special things from me personally, and vice versa, where I'll need them to work an extra day. Maybe it's even a Sunday, God forbid, but those occasions do happen. So we've got a system down where we'll bleed for each other. We'll do anything we can to make the customer happy. And again, that's raw, that's real. And it's fun because we also have literally with everybody within the company, everybody's got kids. So we're able to do these outings and we're able to do these get-togethers where we've quite literally built a family within the business itself. And that's the number one compliment that I get on every single job. And it's not kind of every other job. It's literally every single job, is how amazing the service was from start to finish and how amazing our guys were, and how just respectful of the property and the family and everything. And I can't praise my guys enough on that end. We've got phenomenal guys. And, end of the day, as a business owner, you always get smacked around a little bit, just with all the business aspects of running a business and always trying to put out fires here or there, self-caused or not. And it's really, really nice to have that at the end of the project. And then you get to share that with your guys. So we're very much a family in many aspects.
Very good. That, I love everything about that, and I love the way you build a family community around your business and within your business, and that's definitely the type of business that I would want to do business with. So moving on from that, we've talked a little bit. and we don't need to get into it because we're going to have quite a few episodes here.
Yeah.
But if we could just get an overview of all the services that you provide at Quick Concrete Solutions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Brief overview. We'll start from the top, kind of some of the earliest stuff. So we do a lot of tear out and replace. So whether it be streets, whether it be patios, whether it be driveways, we do a lot of driveways, tear out and replace, and also new. Then we also get into doing a lot of city work, trail systems, a lot of the trail systems through the greater Des Moines area, West Des Moines, Waukee, Clive, Urbandale, especially. We've put a lot of time in there, putting in trail systems. Again, we are based out of Waukee. So, we tend to get most work over this way. However, we put in street systems all the way over in Altoona. So, yeah, those are kind of our main principal things. On the commercial side, we'll get into doing parking lots, whether it's new or tear out and replace on parking lot services as well. And then, occasionally we'll get some one-off stuff, doing some stoops and different steps and some other fun stuff. Foundations, we'll do a little bit of foundation work here and there. That's very dependent on the job and who it's for, et cetera. But yeah, we're very capable. And then also I'd say one of the other big things is doing ag. So we're able to do a lot of ag stuff as well. So whether it be pole barns, grain bins, any kind of big buildings for ag related uses, pretty experienced in that realm as well. Doing finished floors, et cetera, polished floors. We don't get into a lot of the special coatings and all that stuff, doing epoxy or any of that. But we try to just focus on what we do best, and that's taking concrete from the ready mix plant to put it down on the ground to a finished product, and from there, folks can kind of do what they want. And luckily, we've got really good relationships with some other folks around town, so we're always able to help provide additional services as well. Just through our knowledge base.
That's great. Sounds like you have a good network of other contractors. So if somebody did want that finishing work done, you're going to point them in the right direction to make sure that it gets done the correct way and make sure that those companies, continue on with the same values that you gave the homeowner themselves.
Absolutely.
So I know that you're excited. I know this. And I know you want to talk about everything right now. If you had it and you had the whole day, you and I'd just sit, and this would be a 12-hour podcast. But I'm gonna have to slow you down here a little bit. And so so you and I have got some episodes. We have a lot to talk about, and I know a lot of people are like, "It's concrete. What can there be to talk about?" Can you just give us a little preview of some of the topics that we're going to be covering over the next few weeks, Andrew?
Yeah, absolutely. So, gosh, there's so many pieces to concrete. It's kind of funny. This is one of the big things that I'm glad you said what you just said. Concrete's not just concrete. There's a million mixed designs out there. There's a million additives. And then there's also just in general, the preparation that goes into a deep layer of action and overview before we even put down or think about concrete. So, for us, our big thing is we want to educate the public and let them know, hey, this is why you have a failing driveway. Hey, this is why you have a failing parking lot. Drainage issues. We see so many issues where, unfortunately, a $15,000 driveway is ruined because of drainage or downspouts or whatever. There's so many things go into it, but we want to talk about being in Iowa, so there's freeze-thaw cycles. It's between moisture and freeze-thaw cycles. You can quite literally move foundations and move. I mean, it's just the power of the earth is just so amazing. And then just like some of the basic things to take care of your concrete. Once you do have a new concrete, pad of some sort, make sure you're properly sealing it, doing joint seals, doing overlay seals, and there's a lot more to it than that even. But and then
sounds like a whole episode.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then, too, just kind of our general, I love talking about our general practices that make us different. And
Yep.
we're starting to see, small trend of more contractors trying to move in that way. But I think it's because we've kind of set the standard in the market very early on with how far we take our customer service, all the things that separates us. And I feel good about that. Bare minimum, even if other companies are starting to catch up to where we're at, I'm happier with that than just knowing, unfortunately, people are putting all literally their life savings into this new house that they got or whatever. And then all of a sudden, within a year or two, they're calling me to replace their driveway. And it could be anywhere from, $12,000 to $50,000, depending on how big of a driveway it is. It could be really big. And it really does hurt to know that, these home builders are putting together driveways and concrete pads and stuff that are not withstanding time because they're not, going over proper compaction, proctor testing, like all the other things, make sure your base level is proper. Yeah, I could go on and on and on about all the things we're going to talk about, but that'd be a sneak preview. And then just in general, getting back to the customer service principles and what makes us different and why we offer special warranties and whatnot that other concrete companies don't.
Oh, see, there's a good teaser. I like that. I
Yeah,
like that. That was smart.
yeah.
So, I think we got to know quite a bit about you today. We know your background, we know your core values, the military background, the family background. It- Everything was, and I mean, your extensive knowledge in the concrete business, which is very impressive. So I think that one of the biggest questions, in my opinion, for our next session here coming up, we'll talk about some, the cost, because that always seems to be, one of the homeowners. Being a homeowner, I know that's always one of my biggest concerns, fears, um, and budgeting issues. So, Andrew, thank you so much for taking the time with me today. We'll get into some of the costs and at least start on the top level surface of what the concrete business is all about and how you make it work properly.
No, Mike, sounds wonderful. And just to attach on that last piece, it's funny. We do a lot of work for DOD, VA, DOI, a lot of different government, U.S. Corps engineers, et cetera. And, come to find out, it's also one of their number one concerns is how much, this concrete stuff costs too. So I mean, anywhere you go, unfortunately, concrete, it's a must need thing, but unfortunately, there is a high cost to it to do it properly. But the beautiful part is, I always give everybody the old cry once, be done with it, set it and forget it. This thing should last 30, 40 plus years.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, Mike, love all the time we've spent today together and, look forward to spending more time.
Well, thanks for joining us on the Concrete Blueprint. Again, I'm with Andrew Quick of Quick Concrete Solutions in the Des Moines area. And until next time, thank you for your time today, Andrew.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you.